Welcome in, ladies and gents, to the Crosstown Baseball Show. It's May 31st, 2023, and we have a really cool edition of the Crosstown Baseball Show for you today. I'm your host, Anthony Schullo, covering the White Sox, and with me, as always, is my friend Anthony Romanelli, covering the Cubs. Romanelli, how are you doing?
I'm doing outstanding. How are you?
Good. You know what? We've been talking about this for about a week now of doing something a little different for this show. We've talked a lot of baseball since we're now 2 full months into the season, and we wanted to mix it up a little bit. So, as you can see, folks, today we are doing a City Connect jersey draft. I'm going to pick some jerseys. Romanelli's going to pick some jerseys. We're going to talk about which jerseys are awesome, which jerseys look like they came out of a dumpster fire. We'll talk about all of it. So, we're going to, what's the word, Romanelli, for like a male fashionista? Was it a fashionista, a fascist? That's not right. No, it can't be fascist.
No,
No, can't be that.
no.
But we're going to be checking out these threads and essentially going back and forth in a City Connect jersey draft. And so we'll get into the details of that in a second. But before we do, I just wanted to do a well-being check, Romanelli, because things are still kind of all over the place with both teams. And I wanted to real quickly talk about kind of what you saw out of the Cubs in this last 3-game series against the Rays.
Not too much. They are a hot mess. The Cub fandom is on Ross sooner than I thought they would be in regards to wanting to get rid of him. I said
aggressively too.
Aggressively. I said to you 2 years. I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the year if this continues. I just don't. I've gotten to the point where I'm soured by the fans. This has to do more with the internet itself because everybody's barking all the time. So I'm trying to stay away from it as much as I can. However, their play is not, or their lack of hitting, their lack of pitching, some of Ross's moves, some of Jed trying to catch lightning in a bottle to see if the team does well enough for long enough to stay around. But everybody, Dansby off to his massive, wonderful start has cooled off as you knew he would. Morel now is striking out at 35% or higher. Same with Wisdom. Wisdom is either feast or famine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of nothing going on. And it is hard to watch. They are 4-11 in series-ending games. That's not acceptable at all.
No.
There's only two teams. There's only two teams that have a worse record than the Cubs in the National League. In the National League, it's the Rockies and damn it, I can't remember.
It is the Rockies and it is the Nationals.
There you go. So it's just no fun to watch. It's no fun to watch. They're struggling. The last time we did this, they had more runners left on base than anybody in the National League. I haven't double checked that number since. Knowing that they're 2 games out of last place, that number can't be very good. As of just 3 days ago, they were last place and still a +7 differential. That is now completely gone. They're now in the negative. There's nothing. Although Stroman has, all of a sudden he's come out of nowhere and is single-handedly keeping the spirits of that team alive. Steele is still my guy. Now we just have to get him. Just happened today that he's no longer healthy. A little strain in the elbow. Hopefully it's temporary. He just needs some rest and he'll be good to go. But there's not a whole lot of now. 2 things. One, there's not a whole lot to cheer about on the north side, and we said If they played perfectly, they'd be at 500. They're not playing perfectly, and they're not even close to 500.
Well, here's so agreed on all accounts. What where I do get concerned is I do get concerned about Justin Steele because if you're telling me that you're feeling pain in your elbow, ah, it, what if it's a Tommy John situation? I hate to go to worst case scenario, but
Oh, I
anytime
know.
I hear it, I cringe.
Same. No, it's the first. I would bet money that the first time anybody, any baseball fan hears pain in the elbow, that is the very first thing that all of them think. Every fan thinks of, and it's hard not to. So you're
Mm,
hoping for the best, and
yeah.
especially with Hendricks just coming back. He got roughed up his first outing, did significantly better his second outing. So you're like, okay. Um, once you knew that once Hendricks kind of got a feel for everything back at the major league level, he'd be okay and was more than
Hmm.
fine. Um, but now, man, ugh, what are they? They're six. They're 6 games under. 6 games under 500. Fourth place, uh, and a hot mess.
Well, they are heading out to the West Coast to open June, so they'll do 4 games against the Padres, who are certainly underperforming. Three games against the Angels, and we'll talk about the Angels in a moment because they were just here in Chicago this last couple days, and then 3 with the Giants. So they're going to go ahead and do a whole large West Coast homestand. We'll see how they fare. If we know anything, we know our teams, Cubs or Sox, never fare well on the West Coast. It's like they step into an
No,
alternate dimension for some reason. Um, I just I don't get it. At least they're not going to Oakland. Ugh. Um,
right?
but on the Sox side of things, obviously they just wrapped up a 3 game series with the aforementioned Angels. And anytime Shohei Otani and Mike Trout come to town, why not go see them? I actually went to the game. Um, on Monday night, Memorial Day game, and that's why we didn't record on Monday, folks. But I, for me, honestly, it was less about the game and more about seeing the return of Liam Hendricks.
Oh
I
yeah,
all I'm gonna say about the Sox here today before our draft is that it was such a cool experience. I mean, it was one of the most memorable games, no doubt in my mind, that I'll ever be at. You know, there was the energy at the crowd's energy was equivalent to a playoff atmosphere. Seeing him walk out, seeing him there, man, I mean, emotional for sure. But it's incredible that he was able to go through that diagnosis, that cancer diagnosis, and all that treatment, and be pitching 96 or 93, 94 mile an hour fastballs all in a span of 5 months is pretty remarkable.
it is pretty remarkable. Hats off to him, his doctors, his family. You wish him nothing but sus- sustained success. That's hard to say. Sustained success into the future. I was cheering for him the whole time. How could you not be? The standing ovation was somewhat of a tearjerker for me as well. Well deserved, and I hope he continues to perform at the major league level for a long time.
The White Sox wrapped up their series, lost 2 of 3 against the Angels this week. Today they got clobbered 12-5. Shohei Otani hit 2 homers. Mike Trout hit a homer. So yeah, that's great. Feeling good about that. Um, but folks, we're turning the calendar obviously to new month. For the Sox, they welcome in the Tigers this weekend for a 3 game set. I'll actually be going to the game on Friday night, so I'm excited about that. And then they have kind of a quick turnaround when it comes to being home and away because they are home this weekend. They have an off day on Monday. They go to the Bronx for 3 games against the Yankees in the middle of next week, and then they come home for 3 games against the Marlins, and then go right back out again to the West Coast. So, very interesting schedule for the White Sox here in the first half of June. Um, Romanelli, let's talk jerseys.
I can't wait.
Fantastic. So, folks, for those of you who don't know, um, City Connect jerseys are new just in the last few years here. I believe actually last year was the first year that they had City Connect jerseys. And they are produced by Nike. And the whole point of City Connect jersey was to make a jersey for each major league team that was only worn on certain, special occasions as an additional alternate jersey that really reflected the city, the culture, the environment of each of our major league teams. At this point, there have now been 19 releases of City Connect jerseys, all with their own different style and flavor and representation of the city and the culture of that city. So, what we're going to do today is Romanelli and I are going to go draft style back and forth and pick our top City Connect jerseys. And here's how this is going to work. The way I think about it, Romanelli, is if I had a just a City Connect jersey part of my closet, um, which jerseys would I prefer to put in that closet that I would actually wear and own that I think look cool, that I think just are really top of the line. And we'll go through with that kind of headspace as we draft our jerseys. What I encourage everyone to do, if you have not been doing this already, is please follow us on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. This is one of those episodes where I think any audio listener, any podcast listener is going to enjoy our conversation. But this
Yeah.
is one of those that you want to watch on YouTube because we're going to be showing these jerseys and we have a nice little draft board for you to see. So, the full experience, you're going to want to get on YouTube and watch and listen along with us. Um, so here are the rules, folks. We have a draft board, which I'll show you in a second. We're gonna go ahead and like I said, just the two of us. We're gonna go back and forth. There are 19 jerseys. We're each gonna get 10 picks, and you're like, Anthony, math, that's 20. Yeah, I understand. So I never was good at math, folks, but 20 I can do. That last pick, whoever that is, will be able to pick any jersey of any team at for throughout all of baseball history. So it's kind of like a wild card pick, which will be pretty neat. And I'm excited, based on who gets that pick, what jersey they're going to select of all of Major League history. So, what we'll do is you'll see how this works as we go through it. But one thing we are going to do just to highlight each jersey, I think it would be fun for us to really talk about the inspiration behind the jersey. And for that, I am going to pull from a gentleman from ESPN by the name of June Lee. He is a writer for ESPN, and he recently published an article for the MLB section of ESPN back on May 22nd, rather recently. And his article is titled Ranking MLB's City Connect Uniforms. And he does a really great job of, in a digestible way, ranking all of these City Connect uniforms from his perspective. And so we'll be pulling from his piece. And I highly recommend that if you listen to us, if you're watching this, if you're enjoying this conversation, that you go check out June Lee's post here on ESPN. So, Romanelli, you ready?
I am. Let's do this.
Fantastic. Now, here's the thing I didn't think about. Let's talk about this together. Who's picking first?
Hmm.
Okay, let's do this. Ooh, I have a stat.
You
You want to do a stat-based one?
sure.
All right, let's do a Cubs and Sox stat-based one. Let's go to. I'm gonna go ahead and. Ooh, this is tough. All right. You and I will pick. Oh, I want to do it manager based. I want to do it manager style. Okay. You're going to pick a manager and then I'm going to pick a manager. It could be a Cubs or Sox manager. And we're going to go with which manager has the most career wins with that team. So for example, you're going to pick a Cubs manager and I'm going to pick a Sox manager, and whoever has the most wins as a manager with that team will go first. So you're going to want to pick the winningest manager, right, with your team so that you can beat my winningest manager.
I can do that.
Okay, who do you got?
I think. Part of me is like, Leo DeRosa? But I could be completely wrong.
Maybe.
I,
And this is a fun one. Some good trivia, folks.
Yeah, I'll go. No, you know what? I'll let you go, but I'm going to give you a piece of Cubs trivia.
Okay.
I'll let you go first. And
All right.
how about this?
Yeah.
If you knew this, and be honest,
Okay.
if you knew this, I'll let you go first.
Well, the only way you can really do that is ask it like a question, though.
Okay. Did you know that Ernie
Wait.
Banks
Wait.
was
You can't.
the Cubs, actually the first African American manager in Major League history?
I did not know that. Ernie Banks was the first African American manager?
I believe so.
Really?
He subbed or something. I think. Hold on. Are you googling it too?
I am. I am. This says Frank Robinson. I'm wondering if he subbed if they counted it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Um Oh no. No, on May 29th, 1962, the Chicago Cubs Buck O'Neill became the first black coach in Major League Baseball.
Oh,
Incredibly enough, um that's the byline here. Uh come on. Hold on. Jesus. Okay, here's this article 2013. Ernie Banks on his 40th anniversary becoming MLB's first black manager.
Ernie Banks was the first Negro player for the Chicago Cubs, Negro baseball player, and the first black manager in Major League Baseball.
Incredibly enough, Banks's milestone went unnoticed. There were no interviews, no headlines, no fanfare or recognition for the man who spent his 19-year career playing for the Cubs. Well, there you go. Well, I think all of that just tells me you should go first. All right, folks, let's go ahead, and what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and pick first. You'll go ahead and kind of give us a little spiel of why you're picking that jersey whenever you pick it, and then we're gonna go into our main man June Lee's article and read about the inspiration behind each of the jerseys, and then we will just go through and do our 10 picks each. So let's
Okay.
go ahead and show the board. Here's what we got here. This is our City Connect Jersey draft board. So what I want to do, folks, is I want to go ahead and run through which team each of these jerseys belong to. Of course, I'm going to do it like we read a book, right? Up, down, left, right. So we'll start at the upper left-hand corner with the Boston jersey. Obviously, that's the Boston Red Sox. We have the blue Los Angeles Dodgers. We have the familiar Southside White Sox City Connect. We have the Los Angeles Angels, the Colorado Rockies, the Kansas City Royals, the San Diego Padres, the Texas Rangers, the Atlanta Braves. We have the Wrigleyville Cubs City Connect. We have the Brew Crew Milwaukee Brewers City Connect. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks City Connect. We have the San Francisco Giants. The Baltimore Orioles was recently released. Going down to the bottom row, we have the Washington Nationals, the Miami Marlins, the Houston Astros Space City, the Seattle Mariners, and lastly, the Cincinnati Reds. So again, the goal is for each team to have a City Connect. 19 have been released so far. So Romanelli, what's your first pick?
A couple things. First, we all know, all baseball fans know that these City Connect jerseys are nothing but a money grab. We know that.
Well, thanks for the Debbie Downer side note.
Yeah, I know. Um, we do. But it's actually, I would say my top five are really hard to pick because I like them for different reasons. Um, I really
but
like. Well,
But
go ahead.
but no, don't even. You're like, I want to do the top five, and I want to tell you because I know you're very excited about this because I am too, and it was hard for me to also narrow down top five. Let's do one at a time.
Oh yeah, no. I was only going to do one at a time. No, don't get me wrong. So I won't even mention. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Like, don't
Yeah,
mention.
don't even mention anything else, right? Just focus on the
Mm,
one you're gonna pick. And this is the number one pick and the overall pick in the 2023 City Connect Jersey Draft. Who are you
okay,
picking?
then if I'm going for just looks and whatever, I'm going Colorado.
Interesting. All right. So tell us
I
why
really,
Colorado.
I, the, they're the only ones that have some physical aspect of the state represented in the jersey. Um, their hats, which are not shown, also have parts of Colorado in them. I think it's a really complete jersey. The green and the greenery of the earth in Colorado, all over the place, more than any other city. I fell in love with it. Is it? That's going to be. We could talk more later, but that's going to be my number one.
I love it. Let's go and see what June Lee had to say. So, with the Rockies jerseys, the design inspiration, Colorado's uniform pays homage to the mountains that give the team its name, with a predominantly green look reflecting the state's signature pine trees. It features several flourishes, such as a new circle logo on the hat in red for soil and gold for sunshine, along with
There
the
you go.
state's CO abbreviation. The logo and number font also pay tribute to the state's distinctive license plate. Um, and actually, what I'm going to do is after every pick, I think I'll read that first so that we can talk about that too. But that's a solid pick.
I
Solid
think it's the most.
pick.
I think to me, it's the most well-rounded uniform. Okay, your turn.
Interesting. Okay, so this was very tough for my first pick, and a lot of you are going to go, "What the hell is this guy smoking right now?" Um, My first pick is going to be, and you would think it would be the Southside jersey, and it is not. My first pick is going to be the Washington Nationals jersey. Okay.
Really,
Now, yes. So here's why. There's a sentimental piece to this in a way
as in
because
personal.
yes, it is. It's
Okay.
personal because for those of you who listen to our shows, early shows like way back, um, we talked about Romanelli and I talked about like what are our second teams. Like Romanelli's second team is the Boston Red Sox. My second team is the Washington Nationals because I love the city of Washington D.C. I love going there. I have a lot of good fond memories of all the times I've went there and done really cool things. So that combined with the cherry blossoms there on the jersey, the color pink that you never see in a jersey ever, and it's just like subliminal. Really sharp, I think, and it's actually one of the jerseys on my list to own at one point because it just that city means a lot, and to have a jersey that represents the city is pretty cool.
That okay. That I get. I forgot that the Nationals were your second team. I like the touch of the flowers as well. Um, so since we're not bashing right now, not yet, because I think because here's why, because I think the bottom five are going to be easy to bash when we get there.
Yeah,
So yeah.
awesome. Let's
So
read
I
about
won't
the
bash.
design. Let's read on the design inspiration for these. So, the Nationals uniforms weave together two recognizable elements of our nation's capital: its signature cherry blossoms and a typeface that resembles DC's neoclassical architecture. The uniform also features the city's flag on the sleeve of a dark gray jersey with cream pants. Emphasis on the cream pants. I don't know how I feel about the cream pants, but ugh.
Yeah,
All right, Romanelli, you're
but
up.
I'm okay with that pick. Okay, so my second pick, it, not for the same reason, but it's Boston. Um,
Aha.
it's not the sentimental, but it's what it meant to the city of Boston specifically, paying homage to the Boston Marathon. Now, with the with Boston being my second city, my second team, and the fact that they paid homage to such a horrific event because those were the colors of that year's Boston Marathon. That to me, I think, has the most significant meaning of, I don't know, about life being bigger than the game. I think that uniform has the most significant meaning. So I'm going with Boston as number two.
That's an absolutely great point. I think all of these, I opened up saying all of these tied to the city and the culture of the city, but this jersey is tied to an actual event, an event that I think that city will never forget. And there's certainly some deeper thought put behind it. So let's go ahead and read up on it because it absolutely is a good one. Um, the Red Sox went with the most radical design among the uniforms released thus far. I mean, obviously, right? They went from red to bright yellow and blue, unveiling the first uniform in team history to feature yellow and blue as the primary colors. On the front of the yellow jersey, there is a blue stenciled font, and the hat is blue. While the team featured blue as a primary color through 1907, the team has primarily sported red since 1908. The Boston Marathon and Patriots Day hold a special place in the culture of Boston, and the team decided to pay homage to the city's unique holiday through its uniforms, highlighted by the 617 marathon bib patch on the left sleeve. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It threw me for a loop when I first saw it, but the more I learn about it, and the more I learn about the city and Patriots Day, uh, the more I understand it and I can appreciate it.
Me too.
This is where it gets tough, folks. I knew that was going to be my number one, but I knew that was going to be my number one, but I am going to go. Now, remember, folks, as we do this, this is what jerseys do you want in your closet that you may actually wear? Now, eventually, we're going to get to the end of this, and Romanelli and I are probably going to bash some and be like, well, I wouldn't probably wear it, but we're
Oh,
getting to the end.
I'm going to hard. Like I'm more excited about the end than the beginning.
Wow, you are just all rainbows and unicorns today. Um, all right, so my pick, just for the sake of not getting it out of the way, but I legitimately rank it this way in my brain. I am going to go with the Sox Southside jersey. The reason being, obvious reason, duh, we know what the obvious reason is, but it is one I certainly do own, and I wear it the most often of all the Sox jerseys. If you were to go in my closet right now, I have all the current Sox jerseys. I have this one, the away grays. I have the alternate black, the black pinstripe home. I even have a 1959 jersey. So, but this one I do love. There is something uniquely South Side about it, and I do want to start before I even say anything else. Going to the inspiration behind the South Side Sox jersey. Um, Chicago's uniform displays Southside in gray Gothic font, a nod to the Greystone architectural style of Chicago. The team's dark gray pinstriped pants also provide a unique design touch not often seen in baseball today. The look resembles the turn back the clock uniforms the team wore in tribute to the Chicago American Giants. Nike and the White Sox also say the design was inspired by the team's influence in hip hop culture. I love all of that. Really cool. It's a strong looking jersey. When they're wearing the black pants with the same gray pinstripes, chef kiss. It's beautiful. And it really represents what this team is, and they're just neat as shit. So that is my number two. Definitely the Southside White Sox jersey.
I it's hard not to like it. It's sharp, it's slick. The classic font that has represented um, the hip hop style and look for a long, long time fits. Um, it is hard not to like. My only beef is, and I have the same beef with my team, is the south, the south side. Like, and then so like, why isn't Wrigleyville the north side? And then
Right.
Wrigleyville to me sounds like uh, like a super conservative town in any rich, like super rich community. You know what I mean? There's something
I yeah.
like welcome to Wrigleyville. Um, I like the color scheme. I do like the color scheme of the Cubs, but I know we're talking Sox right now. But I do have an issue with it. South Side, Wrigleyville. I like the uniform, the White Sox uniform, but the South Side, it's so. But to that point, there's so much pride in that name and in that uh, in that mindset that there's not a White Sox fan that doesn't bleed South Side mentality, and I think it fits
Mhm.
well. I do. I think it fits well.
It's one thing that it kind of bothers me that I'm surprised you didn't pick up on as our resident English teacher. Um, Southside is 2 words, folks. Like, that kind of bothers me that it's not 2 words.
It can't be. It's here's why, because it's never pronounced as 2 words. Again, you have leeway when it comes to creativity and uniforms and stuff like that. Like when I get to the Atlanta jersey, uh, and a couple of the other ones, um, to me it sounds like one word. I get it. I know it's 2 words, but it sounds like one word. Southside.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
I can understand. I can understand that. Like the way it's spoken
Yep.
and
The way it's spoken.
and you could and here's another way we can look at it, and I'm glad we're spending some time on this. I'm sure we'll do the same with the Wrigley jersey. uh, there is the way you can look at it is Southside 2 words is a like a place, right? Place you go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas Southside 1 word, maybe they changed the way that appeared as 1 word because it's more of a state of being, a feeling,
Right. That's what
a
I said. Like
an I
everybody,
an
an
identity.
identity. Yeah. The same. Like I said, everybody, like a Southsider, they don't say. Interestingly, Southsiders say they're from the South Side. They don't say they're from Chicago. I'm from the South Side.
Yeah.
Chicago. No one's like I'm from Wrigleyville. No one says I'm from Wrigleyville. Nobody does. I live on that. What they say
No.
is I live on the north side. They'll say I live on the north side. Uh, but the south side, there is a definitive um, toughness with that. That like I would like if I'm to look at like the Yankees and the Mets, like one of them, you've got the Bronx, right? Like
Yeah.
how is that not going to be on a City Connect jersey?
You would think, which while you bring it up, I'm very excited to see the Mets and the Yankees City Connect jerseys eventually. Like
Yeah,
those are going to be interesting.
they will be. Okay, onward. I'm going
What's
Angels.
next?
Angels.
Angel.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, interesting. Tell us why Angels.
It's clean and it's classic, and it reminds me of 50s, that cream kind of, and it's one of two or three that are cream color.
Yeah.
Mm. And it's very simple. It's clean. The simple red stripes on the outside. It's still got remnants of current baseball, uh, with the simplicity of the. I like it because it's clean. It's clean to me.
Yeah. I
It's
I
simple.
totally
It's
see that.
clean. Yep.
So let's go to the Angels one because I'm very interested to read this one. I did not actually read before this, so I'm very interested to see what they said if I can find it. Here we go. So design inspiration for the Angels unis. The Angels took a cue from Southern California's beach and surf culture with a cream base that pays homage to the same but angels written in letters inspired by surfboards. The cap features a two-tone design reminiscent of the style often seen on skaters in SoCal. A jersey patch pays tribute to the state's early railroads. Two asymmetrical stripes on the sleeves draw inspiration from retro surfboards. Really cool.
Yep. I would buy that jersey. I would. I'm not an
Solid.
Angels fan. I'm not an Angels fan, but I would buy that jersey. And so far, every jersey that I've given you, I would buy.
Okay. So the next one, I'm going to go into my next one. And I know for a fact I'm going to get so much shit right now for picking this jersey. And I know this is one of those jerseys that Romanelli's very excited to shit on right now. So I'm
Am I
going to
gonna hang up on you? Are we gonna end the show at the
you
35-minute mark?
this may end right here. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is gonna end our friendship?
look this may be serious business. You may see our best episode and our worst
No,
episode at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, with
we're
my
gonna make
third
it go
pick,
viral.
with my third pick, I am going with. You see my name floating on the screen. Where is it going to go? Where is it going to go?
I don't know. Are you fucking
San
kidding me?
Diego.
Go to your room.
Get the hell out of here. Okay, I'm picking the San
Oh,
Diego Padres City Connect. Now, before you say anything out of your mouth, let me read the inspiration behind it so we get that out of the way for a second, okay? Because we know what's happening. All right, folks. I picked San Diego Padres. Yes, I would buy it. Yes, I would wear
oh,
it. I like it. Let me talk about the design. So the Padres went with a binational theme in an effort to pay homage to a shared community that sees an estimated 50 million people commute yearly from San Diego to Tijuana, the populous border city in Mexico. They accentuated pink, yellow, and mint, three colors prevalent throughout Baja California. And the San Diego emblazoned on the front of the jerseys is written in a vintage font representative of weathered beach signs. They consider this a bold, outside the box look, and their hope is that it will appeal to a younger demographic.
yeah,
Go ahead.
like four.
Oh, come on.
It looks like a it's a combination of two things to me.
Rainbow
The
sherbet.
Yes, like the push up candy, the push up ice cream. Remember those from the ice cream trucks
Yes.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
fruit spread gum. That's what that is. That's garbage. The color scheme is garbage. It's
Oh.
not. It looks like it was designed because remember, there's a group of adults that sat in a room and said yes to all of these, not just San Diego's, but to all of them. And see, that to me is my bottom five because because they're not 6-year-old T-ballers. These are grown men. And I couldn't put that thing on but once a year for like an all-star game and feel semi proud of the town that I'm representing. I can't. Like don't coach, don't make me almost pull a Chris Sale and just rip the cut the collars off. I am not wearing this. I am not because they look like candy bars or candy canes or candy bars or something. Good God.
Wow, this is more extreme than the DraftKings
Woo.
outside of Wrigley. Holy shit.
This is a close second.
Man, well, for all of that, which are semi-valid points, um, I do like this jersey because I think it is very unique. I think when they said it's bold and outside the box, I tend to like things that are creatively bold outside the box. And I think there's a similarity between this one and the Nationals jersey that I picked first, and that's that these are things we really haven't seen in jerseys before. These type of colors. And quite frankly, when I think of San Diego and Southern California, I do think of something that is a little more eccentric and bright. No matter what you may think about California or the state of California, this is baseball. So I tend to go that way with my third pick. But enough about Romanelli's favorite jersey. What's your next pick?
Um, for as much as I semi bashed it, I feel like we both need to pick our home team. So this is my homer pick. I'm going to go with Wrigleyville. I wish that, like the Cubs cap for this with that C with the star, the one star.
Yeah,
Like I love that cap. I think
me
had they
too.
done something around that, like just the C, the same way the Giants have just the G. I think something along that line. Again, I like. I don't want to say simple and classic, but the Angels one is simple and classic. The South Side one is bold. But I would have preferred something with just the C and that star. I don't like Wrigleyville. Like just it, nothing says
I
badass. Nothing says badass to me about the word in the town Wrigleyville. And I am a die hard Cub fan.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my
I
calling it my homer pick.
And that's okay. It's totally acceptable. And I tend to agree with you. I'm not going to lie. And this is absolutely as fair of an assessment, being objective as I can. When I saw both the White Sox jersey and the Cubs jerseys come out for these City Connects, the Sox one, when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. Love this. Fire. Awesome. And then I saw the Cubs one come out like a week or two later, and I was like, eh. Like, I had literally that reaction. I was like, "That's it? For the Cubs, for the
And
Chicago Cubs, that's it?"
and the one other thing, the other nod I'll give to the White Sox is, if I'm not mistaken, oh no, they're not. Okay, they're one of two that have pinstripes. Miami does, but the South Side is more defined pinstripes, like their regular uniforms, the black on the white on black with the black pinstripes. That's much closer to their original, which is fine. But I
Yeah.
like there's something about that, the White Sox one. The Cubs one doesn't do much for me. The C and the star, I would buy that T-shirt or jersey tomorrow. This Wrigleyville one, I'm kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But
Let's actually let's read up on the design part of this. Again, these design descriptions come from June Lee, ESPN MLB writer who ranked the MLB City Connect uniforms himself. So his design inspiration right up for the Cubs here. The Cubs uniforms feature a largely navy blue design with light blue accents meant to evoke the Chicago flag, with Wrigleyville across the front in a font similar to the ballpark's marquee, and each of the city's 77 neighborhoods acknowledged with names on the sleeves of the dugout and bullpen jackets. The jersey's left sleeve features a patch of the Chicago Municipal Device logo and a circle with a Y, symbolizing the north, south, and main branches of the Chicago River. So
and
I think we both agree, kind of underwhelming this one to some degree.
yeah,
I mean, what would have made this better in your eyes?
I think either the C with the star or the Y connecting the rivers. I do. Um, there's a little bit more meaning behind it. While they're trying to, you're, I would be hard pressed to believe that the furthest north community in Wrigleyville, one of the 77 neighborhoods, considers themselves part of Wrigleyville. I see maybe 5, 6 neighborhoods considering themselves part of Wrigleyville, not 77. That's a stretch.
Well, 77 though, it's like 77 is all of the Chicago neighborhoods, not just they're not saying 77 considered Wrigleyville, like there are 77 neighborhoods in all of Chicago.
Right, which is, so I didn't say that correctly. You are correct in there being 77 neighborhoods. What the article says about the, trying to represent all 77 cities, or I'm sorry, neighborhoods, is a stretch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think like I said, more thought and effort could have been put into this one. I'm kind of bummed, like one of the biggest franchises in Major League Baseball, and I think we both agree they didn't get a they got a solid one, but not one of the better ones on this list.
No,
Um all right. So we're slow. We're getting through these here, and I'm trying to think of what my next pick is going to be. And I I have to be honest. My next pick kind of attracts to the scientific curiosity in my brain and my obsession with all things astronomy and space. And so I'm going to go with the Astros Space City jersey.
oh, you're
Um,
killing.
I know. Were you going to pick that one?
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and read the inspiration on that before we talk about it, because I do like the Space City jerseys a lot. Um, I think they're unique. They're unique. I like the yellow to orange kind of tint on them. The design inspiration, in fact, these jerseys take inspiration, of course, from the iconic Tequila Sunrise Astros uniforms for the 1970s, while paying tribute to the city's intertwined history with space travel. The uniform font resembles the iconic topography of NASA, while the sleeves feature a grid pattern inspired by star charts. I love that. I love all things space. When you're mixing space and baseball, sign me up. Say what you want about the team. I don't love them as a team. They can go fly a kite, or I guess fly a spaceship. But I do like the uniforms a lot. These ones I are, in fact, we're still in at least my categories of uniform of jerseys I would wear. This is one I would wear. Definitely excited to put this one in my closet.
No. No.
You're so supportive. Thank you.
You're welcome. Uh, where was I going with this? Yeah, no, because it's it reminds me of Space Force. That's exactly
just
what I
just
thought of.
because of that. Just because of
The,
that.
well, it's not very. It's as original. Space City. Any one of them could be space. Like Florida. Florida could be Space City with NASA down there, right?
I mean, I
Florida could be.
guess I didn't. There's no baseball team in Cape Canaveral. Like I don't. There's not.
No, but the idea of so the Marlins could have been Fish City. I don't know. I don't know. Like the color scheme, I'm okay with, but Space City sounds like a cop out. Space City, or like getting on the tram at Disney, and you're like, "Welcome to the tram. Welcome to Space City." So
I
yeah,
mean,
it
in
it doesn't
Houston, in Houston's defense, what else do they got really?
right. Uh, Exactly. They would have been better. Honestly, they would have been better with some gigantic, honestly, like some gigantic, like shooting star off the shoulders or off the middle of it. Something, um, something with some character behind the idea of space. That to me says we have no creativity. We like space, so let's put the word space on our uniform. You've got so much to do. You could have done rings for oh shit for Saturn, for God's sakes. You could have done stars. You could have done galaxy stuff. You could have done a million things, and they came up with Space City. So that's a no for me. This is
Whew,
like
all
this.
right.
I know. And here's well,
You are.
here's
Go ahead.
I know. I know. Okay, my next pick, just because we need to move on. And this is where it gets difficult for me. Like the second half, because interestingly, no, I promised I wouldn't mention other teams except just my pick.
Who do you got?
I think I'm gonna go. This I'm torn. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I'll either regret this or not, depending on your next pick. I feel like we're in a. I feel like we're in a draft room, and like fucking Schullo got that guy. Like Schullo got Jordan, and I ended up with Sam Bowie. Um, um, I just watched Air. That's why that's on my mind.
Uh-huh.
I'll go. I'll go with Seattle.
Interesting. Why Seattle?
Just the homage to the Mariner M in that jersey. Uh, Outside of that, not too much. It does remind me a little bit. The font reminds me a little bit of old school, and I kind of like that. I also like the fact it's the only one that's all lowercase,
Mm,
and that's a
yeah, I could
typography.
see that.
That's a typography thing with me as the semi-creative / English teacher. It's just I don't know. it's understated, but I like the hang homage to the M from the Mariners. So yeah, that's it.
No, no. I mean, I would say, in my opinion, it's quite mid, as the kids say. And nothing crazy about it that stands out to me. June Lee
Me
here tells
neither,
us that June
but
Lee
I
tells
like.
us he tells us that
Go
the
ahead.
Mariners sought inspiration from Seattle's baseball history, notably the Pilots, who existed as an MLB team for just one season before becoming the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Rainers, um, who now a now defunct Pacific Coast League team. The Seattle word mark across the chest is inspired by the Pilots font. Additionally, the City Connect marks the return of the Trident logo, which has been associated with bad Mariners teams of the past, but is a cult favorite.
Not bad.
All right. Who am I picking? You definitely didn't pick anything I was going to pick. Seattle would not have been anywhere near my next picks. I am going to go with what I think is really subliminal and neat uniform is the Kansas City Royals. Um, you want to talk about kind of fonts and this is more of a logo than a font, but the actual logo
Love
with
it.
that KC, with that crown and the colors, I love shades of blue. Perfect. So, um, June Lee tells us that these jerseys, if I can actually find them, design inspiration. Nike presented the Royals with multiple themes, including barbecue and jazz, and the team went with a theme inspired by the city's fountains and Art Deco architecture. The navy blue pays homage to the city's baseball past with the Monarchs, Blue Sox, Athletics, Packers, and Blues, while the design detailing is a nod to the team's past uniform history. Overall, pretty classy look,
Yep.
minimal look, but sharp in its own way.
Yep. Completely. I completely agree with everything. I would have chosen that ahead of the Cubs. I said that was my my Cubs were the like my homer pick. Um, I like, as a matter of fact, that was one of the coolest to me uh, City Connect jerseys. I really like, and again, it's the same color scheme as the Cubs with that Wrigleyville.
Mm, sure
So I
is.
like it a lot. Good choice. All right.
We
So my
we're
next,
yeah, we're getting down to the wire here, and I think now you and I are gonna start interrupting each other with some picks.
one, I just like. I like its brightness and what it means. Miami, the Marlins.
Really?
Yeah, I like how bright it is. It it and it's not as fluorescent as the San Diego, but it's a bright red that you think of like, I don't know, the Miami nightlife and I don't know. I just liked it. Um, it's sharper uh, than most in regards to popping off, like the text, the Miami text pops off of that red a lot, almost the same way the Boston pops off of the yellow, and I just like it.
Totally, totally. No, I could see that. There's something associated with the brightness of Miami and that culture, and they did a fairly good job with that jersey, no doubt about that. Um, all right, moving along here as we're getting to the end. I'm gonna go ahead and go with one that is just a classic in the whole sport, and they really went with the history of this team for this jersey, and that is the Atlanta Braves City Connect. Um, Oh, I forgot to read the Miami one. Let's read the Miami one because it's a fun color. Where are they at? We want to make sure we give Miami some love with their City Connect jersey. So let's read the design inspiration for that, and then we'll roll right into the design inspiration for the Atlanta one. Um, the Marlins went with a bright red pinstripe uniform and a predominantly blue hat with a red bill. The jerseys pay tribute to the Sugar Kings, a AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds that played in Cuba from 1946 through 1960. Both the uniform patch and the logo on the hat call back to the original Sugar Kings logo. The uniform is not an exact copy of the Sugar Kings jersey, which was white and featured red pinstripes. Really cool. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
All right, let's go to but where is it? The Braves jersey. Atlanta's uniform evokes Hank Aaron and his chase for 715 homers, with design details such as the crown on the sleeve honoring the former home run king. Additionally, the team used the A on its uniform for the first time, while working off the existing retro uniforms Atlanta wears regularly. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Henry Louis Aaron Foundation. Really cool.
I do like it. It's two things. One, it reminds me too much of Hank Aaron alone, like specifically because that 715 home run was so iconic. You can just see
Yeah.
that uniform. You can see the uniform in that completely. So I don't know how much creativity went behind it. My only like Debbie Downer to it is the word the A. That's just the stupid. I can't stand
You
like uh,
that is the stupid. Every time something happens that unsavory with our teams, I'm just gonna say that's the stupid.
the stupid. I can't like the Shy Town. The uh,
David
um
Ross pulled that guy out. David Ross pulled that guy out in the seventh inning. That's the stupid.
that's the stupid. Exactly. It's just the stupid. Um okay. Uh
Oh.
I'm torn between these two because neither one like bounces out to me. Um but hmm, I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Interesting.
Yeah, the black on black is similar to the White Sox. Um, they're winning. They're changing. Um, again, I don't know the background to it. Again, I'm just looking at it. I was torn between that and another one, and I'll tell you when we're done picking. Um, it's almost too simple. Again, I've mentioned that I like classic or simple. It's almost too simple, but I kind of like it. I don't know why.
It, I no, I see exactly what you mean there, and I do agree with you. Of all the ones on here, it seemed the most simple to me, but in its simplicity comes something I like about it in a very odd way that I can't explain, similar to you. Um, in its simplicity, there is some it's seemingly some good thought put into it. The Orioles took Baltimore's neighborhoods as inspiration, specifically with the colorful mosaic design lining the inside of the uniform, a first for an MLB jersey, and the top of the socks. The Baltimore block font across the front is inspired by the Globe Collection and Press at Maryland Institute College of Art. So, um,
Oh, that's
eh,
cool.
yeah, it works out kind of nice. Like I said, at first glance, it's kind of unassuming, but I think I agree. I like it the more I look at it.
Me too. Yeah, kind of understated, but I like it.
All right. We're getting almost to the end here. I know which one I'm picking, no doubt in my mind. It is Cincy.
Yeah, those that was
So,
the those were the two I was choosing between
and I
Baltimore
think
and Cincy.
and I think you and I probably for the same reasons. I love a good strong black jersey, and I love black and red as a pairing. I always have, just personally. And this jersey with that font, with that, it just comes off as really bold. And
I like their hats too. The new
yes,
hats.
absolutely.
Yeah,
The uni as a whole is really solid. So it looks like their design inspiration. Um, we have here to tie in with the changing face of Cincinnati, which has seen the largest share of growth attributable to immigrants in the United States and a new generation of Reds players. The team revamped its century plus old C logo while featuring an essentially all black uniform with red accents. It's freaking cool.
it is. I do like it. Those were the two. I That was the hardest pick for me, Baltimore or Cincy. So I think for both of us that was a win-win.
Totally.
Um, then okay. Uh, by again, I don't want to say too much. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Okay.
I like the Golden Gate Bridge on the sleeves. Not a fan of the white with whatever color that is.
Like the
Uh,
orange. Yeah.
yeah, is that supposed to be the? Well, I mean, if that's representative of the Golden Gate Bridge itself, I'm okay with it. Um, I more like the sleeves um, than the jersey, but I like it. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I do too. I like it in its simplicity. Looks like their design inspiration um is that given their the most unique design elements from the Giants uniforms are certainly a nod to the Golden Gate Bridge silhouetted on the sleeves and to the San Francisco fog, which dots the team's logo on the jersey's
Ah,
chest, the player uniform numbers, and the bridge. A small patch above the jersey tag features the Giants lettering surrounded by fog. I didn't realize that that was fog, and that actually is kind of cool.
haha. So we like it because we surprised ourselves. I like that.
Yeah.
Now I like that even better.
Right. No, I totally agree. I guess I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Um, all right, moving on. We're running out of options here, and the rest aren't really all that special. If I'm being honest with you.
No,
I am gonna go with the Arizona Diamondbacks one, and I want to start here with this one. I want to start with the design inspiration first. So let me go ahead and get to that. So, with the Arizona design inspiration, the Diamondbacks unveiled a gold uniform referencing this Sonoran Desert and the state's Hispanic culture, with serpientes across the front. Not straying too far from the team's existing colors, Arizona decided to flip its primary and secondary colors, making the team's distinctive Sedona red color an accent through the numbers. The uniform patch on the left sleeve features the Arizona state flag and a reference to a Phoenix's nickname, Phoenix's nickname as the Valley of Sun. I like the color on this one primarily because there's really no unis with this color. And there's just something about the Diamondbacks I've really loved. Honestly, they have a history of really off the wall, unique jerseys. I love their jersey history just in general, and they didn't necessarily uh, hold up to that great history with this jersey, but it's not bad.
it's not bad. I think the Serpientes is a stretch. I get it. I get it. I feel
I
I
love
feel
that.
like I feel like Mike North, the old radio announcer. I think he was with 670 forever. Like once he turned old, he turned bitter about everything. And I don't mean to be so bitter, but like I'll explain when we finish. So let me pick. So there's three left, and I don't like any of them. So I'm gonna just and I'm gonna get stuck. I'll go with Texas.
Oh, the one that looks as plain as all get out?
Well, plain, confusing, and it, it it's like a mix of Roman numerals that it doesn't know. Um, it tried to, and again, people sat around a table and they were like, "Yes, I like this." They're wrong. They're allowed to be wrong. Um, so I'm just gonna because at this point I have no feelings for the last three.
Okay,
So
so let's educate ourselves because like we said, we both don't really know what's going on and it seems very plain.
no,
So For this one, the uniform reflects the role the Rangers played in bridging the baseball rivalry between Dallas and Fort Worth by bringing a team to Arlington, which sits in the middle of the two metropolises. The uniform also references April 21st, which the team said was included to commemorate the day Texas gained independence in 1836, the date of the first recorded baseball game in Texas, the date of the Rangers' first home game, and the on field debut of the City Connect uniforms.
I still hate
Nah.
the logo.
No, it's not great. All right. So, because we have two more left and I have a pick, I am going to reference both in a way and why I'm choosing one over the other. Um, I I'm going with Milwaukee's, the Brewers City Connect because while all these other jerseys I picked I like more, I do like the powdered blue jerseys. Like I've always liked how the powdered blue jerseys work. They were very popular in the 70s and 80s. The teams had powder blues. You think of the powder blues. The Royals had powder blues. The St. Louis Cardinals had those powder blues. The Expos. They all looked really sharp. And also juxtaposition to the Dodgers, which really looks just like a regular Dodgers jersey, which I don't understand why they did nothing different other than adding the Los in front of it. I'm definitely going Brew Crew here.
I um I like the only part to the Milwaukee one I like is the light blue. The Brew Crew sounds like a softball team.
It does.
Uh,
The
it totally sounds
the
like a softball team. Go ahead.
It does. The design inspiration here, the Brewers took design inspiration from the people's flag of Milwaukee, their city's summer skies, its grilling culture, and Lake Michigan. They used Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport's abbreviation, MKE, on their cap while using the team's nickname with fans, Brew Crew, across the front of the jersey.
And
That seems like they just pulled random crap.
yeah, now to their credit about the Brew Crew using what the fans like or what they call them, I'll give them that. The MB with the glove on the left sleeve is still to me one of the greatest baseball logos ever because I didn't know for decades that was an M and a B combined. And then when I looked, I was like,
Uh-huh.
that's brilliant. Um,
Right.
so like I've always liked that. But I like I can deal with the light blue, but the Brew Crew to me looks like a softball jersey. And then finally, and this is where I'm going to go to Arizona in a sec, the Lost Dodgers and the
Mhm.
Serpientes. It's like how generically Hispanic can we get and still stay in touch with our fans? Because if you remember, like every NBA team at one point, like Los Bulls, Los Knicks, and I was like, no, like just
Right.
no. It just like who are you? Do you think the Hispanic community is more proud because it says Los Dodgers? I doubt it. Like the
Sure.
Serpientes, at least the Serpientes, you have to have the tiniest bit of knowledge of the Spanish language to know that that's a snake. And but again, that should look more snake like. Again, I'm thinking more in long along the lines of visual, like the same way with Space City, uh,
Right.
um, with the Serpiente. So like let's throw a Hispanic, a dash in there. That's what it felt like to me. And they're like because Will Ferrell actually joked about it once. Like nothing says America like going. Nothing says America more than going to a baseball game to watch a bunch of like Hispanics and Dominicans play American baseball. Like it was something to that effect, and he's 100% correct. Um, so I think, yeah, the Los Dodgers is weak. It's like we have 20 minutes to finish this. What do you got? How about Los? Done. So
Du- so so you're saying you very much dislike that you by default have that as your last pick. Great.
without question, the rest of
Oh
them,
my goodness.
like the
Let's
rest of
let's
them,
um
I like them. I like the majority of my
Yeah.
picks. I really,
Yeah.
I do. This was fun. Like I would, I just had a thought, but I would lose and it would kill me. I'm like I already lost one bet to you, so I'm like
Ooh.
we should make a bet and then make the loser wear the jersey that they hate the most. Um,
Oh my god. That is actually not a bad proposition. We really need to think about what that's gonna be.
right. So like it would have to be something like, do we end up going with the Cubs versus Sox overall war at the end of the season, and then we begin next season, or like, let's say October 1, like I don't know. We could talk about it, but like,
Yeah,
do we make each other wear the worst jersey, and then do we go out on our own and buy our number one pick jersey just because?
that's interesting. I would explore that. I would explore that.
Yeah. See, like
Um
I would make you wear the San Diego jersey and walk you around downtown Chicago and just grab random strangers and be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of this jersey?
So you're gonna do that. Oh, all right. All right.
No, no, no,
All
no.
right.
I never would. No, but like I love the
W
Angels jersey. I love it. I
we
like the Seattle jersey, but the Seattle jersey. This was something else I was going to say. The Seattle jersey somewhat reminds me of the current Boy Scout version of the Milwaukee Brewers uniform. That's why I had a hard time with that, picking that one.
I could definitely see that. Um, all right. That was really awesome.
That
Really
was
great
way
to
fun.
run through all those jerseys. Oh, I
Um,
forgot my final pick. So I have that wild card pick. And so here's what I want to do, folks, is for my wild card pick. Um, believe it or not, I am going to go with a Sox jersey. I know, surprise, surprise, but there's a reason I'm going with this particular Sox jersey. Um, I think it's one of those that is, you don't see these in jerseys very often. Um, and it is a jersey that was not very long live on the South Side, but I think was vastly underrated. Are
wait,
you ready to see it,
wait.
Romanelli?
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yes. Go ahead and guess. Go ahead.
I just want to
It's
guess,
not
and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I doubt it's the collar one. I'm going to go with the red and White Sox one, the red stripes.
that. Okay, that is actually a really good guess. That one's, it's not too different from the jerseys they have now, except for one little feature. Okay, except for one little feature. It is
Oh, the sleeveless.
the sleeveless. The sleeveless. The pinstripe kept the cool home pinstripes, but the sleeveless with the black underneath. You did not
I
see those in
forgot.
baseball very often.
I forgot about those. The only team that I have a memory of the sleeveless was the Diamondbacks
That
when
and the
they
Pirates.
and the Pirates, but the Diamondbacks only stuck out to me. I'm sorry, the Diamondbacks stuck out to me because that was the year, I think it was '01 when they won the World Series. That's the only reason I remember them being sleeveless. And you're right about the
Yeah,
Pirates. I forgot about them.
it would be cool to be unique and stand out in the crowded jerseys and bring these back. I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. I actually like that better than the '80s. That block of blue, the White Sox one where it's like socks, and then the red and the red. Their normal Sunday ones that they wear with that block of, and it's just socks and that weird X.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I never liked those. That wasn't it like an anti-socks thing. I just didn't like the
Right.
uniform.
I didn't either. For me, I know for Sox history, red and blue have been a large part of the Sox uniform history, but I'm sorry, I don't associate red and blue of any hue with the White Sox. It's a
Yeah, no.
black, white, and silver sort of team. Just
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I do like their. I've always liked their Silver Road, the White Sox. Their Silver Road ones that say Chicago on them, or do they say
Oh
White
yeah.
Sox?
No, they
Those
say
that's
Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah, those have always been sharp to me. always.
Absolutely. Hey, Romanelli, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed
Yes,
doing this.
me too. Me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, um, again, highly recommend when you're listening to this episode, if you're catching us on the podcast, we're glad we have you here. You can learn more about the City Connect uniforms and how we picked them, but definitely for visuals, you're going to want to subscribe on YouTube. So go to YouTube, subscribe to the Crosstown Baseball Show. Of course, we're available anywhere that you get podcasts. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. But in the meantime, go Sox.
Go Cubs.
Take care, everybody.